This is a Golden Globe-winning actor who stars in the new movie The Harder They Fall, which is in theaters now and streaming on Netflix November 3rd. Here is Idris Elba! No! Oh, wow! Oh, no! He's rising! He's rising! Oh, my God!
How are you, Jimmy? It's good to see you.
You're the greatest. I love that you dressed up, buddy. How you doing?
I'm great, man. I didn't dress up. This is me every day, bro.
Oh, well, I apologize. I hopefully take no offense to that.
Me.
Yeah. I guess you're in the Halloween spirit, bud.
Dude, I'm actually DJing in 45 minutes at a nightclub.
Is that right?
Annabelle's. And so, yeah, I didn't want to come on the show like this, but just in times of efficiency, I had to get there. You know what I'm saying?
If any show, you know that you are allowed to, you have to do this on my show. Of any show, you know, come on, buddy, we're a family, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out to the Roots. What's up, gentlemen?
There you go. That's right.
Don't look at me crazy.
We love you, bud. I love it you did that. Idris, I want to, by the way, even dressed like this, you're still sexy, buddy. That's all.
Oh, yeah?
You know,
Thanks,
yeah.
Is this a zucchini moment?
No. Unfortunately, it's not. No, well, it might be. I don't know. I do want to ask you, but before we get into the movie, I have to ask you about working with Paul McCartney. This is Paul McCartney's newest album, and you do a whole remix on it, and you sound amazing, by the way. How do you get?
Thanks, man.
How'd you get involved with this? Did Paul just call you?
No. Did he call me? No. You know what? I had the opportunity to be you for a day and interview Paul McCartney for the BBC, and we're sitting on the sofa having a great chat. And then during one of the breaks, he tells me about this album, and he says, you know, I'm going to remix it. I'm going to get a bunch of artists. And literally, like a bone that just fell out my mouth, I was like, let me do one.
And then
there was a real awkward pause.
Yeah.
He was like...
He's like,
yeah, sure, Idris, yeah, sure, have a go if you like. And then I started talking to him about the stems and the Pro Tools files. He was like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll send them to you.
You know what you're talking about. It's fantastic. I think one of my favorites on the album. I was going to ask
thank you, man.
We have this. You're doing a song with Paul McCartney, who's a legend. I know that you've also DJ'd for Madonna. I know that you also, we talked about that, you DJ'd the royal wedding, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. These are high-pressure gigs. Which one is the most stressful?
The wedding. No doubt.
Really?
The wedding, yeah. This wasn't like, this wasn't like my cousin's wedding, you know what I'm saying? This was like...
Yeah, this is...
this wasn't at the community hall. The reception. This was like a big deal. And they're good friends, and I wanted to make sure they had a great time. So it was a lot of pressure.
Do you know what song you're gonna play when you kick off the party, or is it
no, but I have a collection of songs that any one of them could be a good kickoff. And Megan had sent me a playlist, so I knew what she wanted already.
I wanted to ask you about this because I have an idea. We might have crossed paths before I even knew you. Were you a bouncer at Caroline's Comedy Club here in Manhattan?
Yeah. I used to work at the door. I was upstairs, and then I went downstairs and watched the show and just, made sure no one misbehaved.
Did we ever run into each other?
Yeah, I saw you. I saw your show. It was, it was all right. Remember that?
I mean, I was just starting out. I was brand new.
No. You used to do that. You remember that? You used to do that troll skit.
I did. I had a troll doll bit, and I do impressions. Yeah.
Yeah, it was terrible, but people loved it.
You saw that? That's crazy, man.
I was there.
That's so wild, man. I love Caroline. That was one of my favorite clubs ever, man.
Me too.
That's
Me too, man. No, you were great, actually. I do remember you were great. And, oftentimes I'd get brought into the comedy because I was an English guy, black Englishman at the door. At the time, it was still a novelty out there in New York. And they used to just roast me, basically, all day. You didn't roast me, but most of them did.
Thank you. Yeah, good. I'm glad I didn't. But look at you now, bud. Look at you now. And now you're in a... I love this new movie.
I'm in Blackula.
Yeah, I didn't mean that. That's correct. But also, you're in a great new movie called The Harder They Fall. Jay-Z is a producer on this as well, by the way. It's a great cast. You know, I love Lakeith Stanfield is one of my favorite actors out there. Do you want to set up who you play in the film and what drew you to this movie?
Yeah, no, dude, I'm really proud of this film. It's an incredible movie. You know, I play Rufus Buck, who is a real character. You know, Rufus Buck was notorious. Sort of criminal, and actually, the real Rufus Buck was. Excuse me, 1 second. Ooh.
Yeah, that makes it better.
I couldn't even talk. Thank you.
The real
Rufus Buck.
That's better.
He was, you know, a young kid who's probably about 19 years old. In the movie, we depict him a lot older, but he was notorious, and all the criminals in the film, you know, from Trudy Smith, you know, Lakeith Stanfield plays Cherokee Bill. Cherokee Bill, these are all real characters. And so this film not only, I mean, it's a piece of fiction, but it really does lean into some real characters that existed, you know?
I do love a good Western, too. And I know you're on the horse a lot. And I heard that you realized on set that you're allergic to horses. That sounds like fun. What?
Nah,
what?
It was horrible. Excuse my language. It was horrible. I mean, you know,
that is a nightmare. What are you supposed to do? It's a Western. You got to be on a horse.
Yeah, you know, and now I know why all cowboys did that squinty eyes thing, going, you know, on their horse because their eyes were bleeding basically. And there was this old gentleman who was one of the supporting artists, and he saw me sneezing, my eyes red, and he said to me, "Yo, Idris, you know, you got to use some pickle juice." I was like, "What?" He's like, "Pickle juice. You got to drink some pickle juice. You're going to be fine." I was like, you know, I had a long, decent conversation with him. And I trusted him. So the next day, I drank some of that pickle juice, and it actually worked. I'm not even going to lie.
No way. Pickle juice?
Yeah.
Helped your allergies?
Something good. Yeah, completely. I drank a bunch of pickle juice. It's something to do with the dill. I don't know, dill. Something to do with the dill.
What's the deal, man? I love it. Thank you. That was so corny. People just walked out. People walked out. My joke was so corny.
I like corny jokes. I like your corny jokes, man. When you did them at Caroline's, they were great.
Idris, I want to show everyone a clip. Here's Idris Elba in The Harder They Fall. Take a look at this.
Valiesco. Rufus. The world you knew is gone. There's a flood coming. Do you think you can hold on to this place when it hit? At least I know enough to get mine and get out. Kill me. And you'll have nothing.
You know, a man like you will have us all subservient to the end of our days. So as long as you can buy yourself a house, a badge, and them goddamn gold teeth.
You wanna do this here?
Come on, that's a star right there. That's a star. I love you, buddy. The Harder They Fall is in theaters now and streaming on Netflix November 3rd. When we come back, Idris and I are going head-to-head in a new game. Stick around. It'll be fun. Hey.